Alrighty, folks. Welcome in. It is great to see you on Monday Night Baseball. Monday Night rocks. Let's go, guys. We've got Monday Night Baseball tonight, and I think some of you are wondering about what this World Series will be. It did say in the preamble, yes, greatest World Series ever. Now, that is subjective, of course, and my intel may be a little bit late. You know, ESPN on the 100th anniversary of the World Series, they did a countdown back in 03 about the greatest World Series of all time, and they named this World Series at the time 03. So the 2004 Red Sox World Series versus the Cards hadn't been played yet. 07 Sox Rocks, not the 13 Sox versus Cards, not the 18 Sox versus Dodgers. I'm getting a theme here, KJP. I'm seeing a common denominator in your guess. But it is let me just put it this way. It's the best World Series in my mind. It was just a seminal moment in the life of Dr. Dynastic. And that World Series is the 1991 World Series between the Atlanta Braves and the Minnesota Twins. And this was a series that ended the run for my Oakland Athletics of being in the World Series 3 years in a row. And yet, despite that, I still have a special place in my heart for this World Series. So many things happen in that World Series. Games going down to the wire, one-run games, extra innings. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It was just an absolutely wild World Series. Anytime the Braves lose a World Series, you're happy, eh? Well, 5 games decided by 1 run. 4 games decided on the final pitch. 3 of those games go into extra innings. I mean, it was walk-off mania in the 1991 World Series. Just absolutely nuts. Absolutely bonkers. So, where's my water? First of all, because that's going to be an issue. So let's first of all thank who is responsible for this. And that would be Danny D. Smith Jr. Danny came up with this matchup. I mean, I guess he didn't come up with it. 1991 came up with it, but you are the reason why we're streaming this game today. We're going to be playing this series, 3 games. First game will be right here on the mothership, and then it is a best of 3 series. We'll continue the series over on my channel, Dr. Dynastic, throughout the week. So that's kind of the plan, guys. And I would like to know in chat, where were you in this series? What was an underdog? Kind of, it sounds like me. You were 11 years old. So that's 91, which means you were born in 1980, right? Remember getting my dad to buy me a baseball scorebook and scoring all the games at 11, which is absolutely wild. Because if you were doing the scorebook and you had 3 games go to extra innings, then you're like, Dad, what do I do here? Because these games are going to extra innings. What do I do? All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. Fade down some music. And who is ready for some baseball? All right, so we have the 1991 World Series, and the rotations have been set. Much to my chagrin, I did notice that as we were setting this up on my pregame show, if you ever want to catch the pregame shows, we prepare for this game. You can always catch me on Dr. Dynastic beforehand. And so about a half an hour ago, we were looking at this, and Jack Morris was not the game 1 starter. We had to change that in a heartbeat. We also did not have Scott Erickson anywhere to be found in the Minnesota Twin rotation. How dare you? How dare you? So we put Erickson in the rotation as the game 3 starter in place of, I believe it was Mark Guthrie. So Erickson in, Guthrie out. Now, you could make a similar move by putting Steve Avery in for Charlie Liebrandt. I would argue that Liebrandt had such an influential performance in this series that it would be sacrilege not to have Charlie Liebrandt somewhere in this World Series. So we elected to keep him in as the Game 3 starter should it come down to that. Remember, this is a best of 3 series. So Glavine versus Jack Morris. And let's take you to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Oh, I always forget this screen. Let's just make sure, because I have had the lineups get overridden before at this point. So we'll just run through here. Everything looks good. These lineups, by and large, starting lineups, though you may disagree with them, these are in fact what both teams rolled out when they had a DH in the World Series. The DH will be, in effect, home and away. So we'll get a DH not only at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, but also when the series shifts over to Atlanta, we'll also get a designated hitter. So pitchers will not be hitting. All right, with that, let's go ahead one more time. Put your MNB presenting sponsor on the screen as we get ready for some baseball. I almost have to show this to you right now. This is why I do this. Look at this view we have of the ballpark. Now, either a snowstorm has hit Minnesota, or perhaps it's the view that we're getting from the Metrodome. So we'll go ahead and we will change that initial. We won't have the blimp camera. Perhaps that would not be a good idea, but maybe we can get a wide low camera. We've got to see the hefty bag. We've got to see the hefty bag out there. All right. Pitch camera, home plate TV camera. That's fine. Blimp, no. Let's go with, let's see what the wide camera looks like here. Nope. All right, we'll go wide low. And the pitch camera, home plate TV camera. Everything else is good. So that was from the roof. That was from the roof of the Metrodome. All right. Had to show that to you. That was way too much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Minneapolis, Minnesota, the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, as we are reliving the year 1991. It's a World Series replay on Out of the Park Developments. I'm Dr. Dynastic. We're so glad to have you on board for this best of 3 Dynastic series between the Twins and the Braves. The worst to first. Both of these teams the year prior had finished dead last in their respective divisions. National League West, Atlanta Braves, and American League West, Minnesota Twins. Both teams going from last to first and now playing in the World Series, 1991 World Series. This is the pregame show brought to you by Cubs Fan 23 Steve. Nothing came before the pregame show except the Big Bang. It is the Big Bang pregame show. No weather to speak of. Your weather report brought to you by Lost Duck TW. We're inside the Metrodome. And a little background on this venerable stadium, which was built back in 1982. Your dimensions down the line: 343 to left, 408 to straightaway center field, 327 down the line to right, and of course that hefty bag out and right, 23 feet tall, where triples and inside the park home runs are born right there. The hefty bag out in right field. First ever game, an exhibition game, played back here in April of 1982 between the Twins and the Philadelphia Phillies. Ballpark Dimensions are being brought to you by Commando Solo 193. All right, let's introduce you to the starting lineups. We'll start with the Minnesota Twins playing on their home turf here tonight. Defensively. Oh, wait a minute. What just happened? Already shenanigans as Dan Gladden has been bumped. Oh, OTP developments. What have you done to me? The game has hijacked the lineup and it's put Chili Davis in left field and Dan Gladden at DH. I call shenanigans. Kirby Puckett batting second. Chuck Knobloch leadoff. Dan Gladden not in the leadoff spot. Oh, it looks like more drops for you. Looks like more drops for you. Oh my goodness. No. We are not doing that. Oh my gosh. Game is going haywire now. Oh no, stop. Stop what you're doing. Don't pitch that ball. All right, stop what you were doing. All right, stop. Oh my gosh. All right, we are stopping this and redoing this. Oh my goodness. All right, Anarchy. Oh, hey, at least I get my double drops as a PT Plus subscriber. Get your PT Plus now. All right, and a whole lot of packs too. All right, new historical game. Nope. We're not doing that. Sorry. My bad. Cancel. Stop. Historical exhibition. So, about that weather. How's the weather out there? 91 World Series. Braves away. Twins home. 3-game series. 1 home, 1 away, 1 home. DH will be on for both teams. We'll create the exhibition. Now, look, I went through painstaking effort to make sure that we have the starting lineups reflective of what actually happened in the World Series. I will not stand for this. Lonnie Smith will not be in the field. He'll be DHing. Brian Hunter will be in left. And let's see, Lonnie Smith, Terry Pendleton will bat third. Jeff Treadway will bat second. David Justice in your cleanup spot. Treadway needs a bat second. Yep. Pendleton in 3. Justice in the 4 spot. Ron Gant 5th. Sid Bream, your first baseman, batting 6th. Brian Hunter batting 7th. Greg Olson in the 8th spot. And Ronnie Belliard will be your starting shortstop. Now, I do worry that we're going to get overridden again. So what we're going to do after I do this, Lee Brand is going to remain in. Glavin will be your ace. We'll switch over, but we are going to... I will wait it for a moment. All right. Now, Minnesota. Where are you? Minnesota. All right. Jack Morris is going to be the 1 starter. Tapani will be the 2. Erickson in the 3 spot in the rotation. Guthrie will be the long reliever. All right. Now, Dan Gladden, you're going to be in the leadoff spot. He will be playing left. Knobs in the 2 spot. Kirby Puckett in the 3 spot. Chili in the DH batting cleanup. Brian Harper batting 5th. Kent Urbeck. Let's see. Harper. Then Mac. Boy, I've not had this happen in a while. Gagne in the 9 spot. Leas in at 3rd. Scott Leas will be the 3rd baseman. And Urbeck will bat 7th. Yep. That's right. Okay, Underdog caught it. Yes. Yes, Underdog. Like a steel trap his mind is. Let's go. All right, everything else looks good. Now, the one thing is and rules. Playing. Control. I may have to take over control if it does this again. Don't you dare. Don't you dare, OOTP. I know. That looks good. That looks good. Play. All right. You know what we're going to have to do here? Let's just check. Look at that. It did it again. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take over Minnesota. Now, the Braves order is completely fine, but we're going to have to take over substitutions. We're going to have to take over here. All right. Now I have to do this all over again. My goodness. All right. Minnesota. Oof. Things we do. The things we do. All right. So Dan Gladden is actually going to be in left. Chili is going to be your DH. Danny will lead off. Knobloch will bat second. Kirby in the 3 spot. All over again. Billy Davis cleanup. Brian Harper, excuse me, in the 5 spot. Shane Mack in right after Harper. Ken Herbeck be your first baseman. Scott Leyes will be the 3rd baseman. I think what's going on is because it's the lefty versus righty situation, which is actually fairly accurate in that Herbeck should be playing very much higher in the order, but we don't care. But Tom Kelly would put Herbeck way down in the order, BL. And but we're okay with that. Morris is still the starter. I think we're good. All right. So we will have to, okay, take 2. It's the one place where you're actually praying for technical difficulties because then you get your drops. I get it. If I was on the other end, I'd be like, yes, Gremlins left behind from Dish because he's on vacation. Absolutely. All right, game options. Let's change this back to the AI. I guess the AI is doing what it's supposed to do. I left it on. Usually it's overridden, but every once in a while that has happened to me. Well, we got the pregame introductions out of the way, but let's go ahead and introduce you to the starting lineups. They're brought to you by Hertz Donut. Next time you're in Cedar Falls, Iowa, you might just find really vanilla gorilla at Hertz Donut. Open 25/8. Want a Hertz? Hertz Donut. The best in Cedar Falls. Defensively, yes, Dan Gladden will be in left. Kirby Puckett, Gold Glove center fielder, right between them, and Shane Mack right in front of the ominous shadow of the hefty bag is in right. On the infield, Scott Leyes getting the start over Pags at 3rd. Up the middle, you have Gagne and Knobloch, 2 fantastic defenders up the middle. Ken Herbeck will be at 1st. And your starting battery tonight is brought to you by D. Mendro, celebrating the Illinois Class 6A state champion Cary Grove Trojans. Ryan Harper is behind the dish, and he will be catching for the veteran Jack Morris. Morris, 18 wins, the most he's had since the 1987 season when he was back with Detroit. And in fact, 87 was the year that Minnesota went to the World Series and took on the St. Louis Cardinals that year in 87. But Jack Morris was still in Detroit, the team that has had him ever since from the beginning. Jack Morris will get the start here tonight as the Minnesota Twins and Tom Kelly wanting some veteran presence on the hill. Other fantastic arms in this rotation, but leaning on the veteran Jack Morris. Offensively tonight for the visiting Atlanta Braves, who climbed out of the basement in the 1990 season. In fact, they were below 500. 49 wins, 50 losses at the All-Star break. But the Braves rallied with a red-hot second half to win the West and then knock down and knock off and knock out the Pittsburgh Pirates in the National League Championship Series, taking down Jim Leyland's company in 7 games to get here to the World Series. Offensively, Lonnie Smith will DH. He'll lead off. Jeff Treadway getting the start at second. And the MVP, Terry Pendleton, in the 3 spot. David Justice will bat cleanup. He is in the 4 spot out in right. Ron Gant in the 5 spot. Sid Bream in the 6, followed by Hunter, Olson, and Belliard. No self-serving raid for me this evening. That is a fantastic question, Razor FMG, but we did not. You cannot raid into a stream that is not up yet, unfortunately. We'll figure something out. So if any of you are away from keyboard on my stream, that you are able to raid into and then see this. But we did have the pre-game show, and we will endeavor to do better next time for you, Razor FMG. Because we want to make sure that you guys are getting those drops from your affiliates and then here on the mothership, OOTP Developments. Monday Night Baseball, the preamble is done. It is time to play ball. Your first pitch brought to you by Chess Safari. It ain't checkers, it's chess. Chess Safari. All right, first pitch coming in at 4:24 p.m. Pacific time on Monday Night Baseball. Lonnie Smith behind 0-2, swing and a miss. Strike 3 as Jack Morris opens the proceedings with the strikeout. All your strikeouts today are brought to you by Podman 19. Experience the ultimate getaway. Book your trip today to America's finest city, San Diego, with Podman 19. Always love the replay on the flyover that clips the top of the roof. Might have to watch out for that. We might have just poked a hole in the Metrodome here. So if there's any snowfall or if you feel a breeze, you'll know why. Now that brings us to Jeff Treadway. Treadway, the second baseman, 28 years young. Treadway batting from the left side against Jack Morris. 2-2 pitch on the way. Another strikeout. Morris, back-to-back strikeouts to start this ball game. Quickly, 2 up and 2 down. Jack Morris going right to work. But it's going to get a whole lot tougher right now with Terry Pendleton at the plate. Career year for Pendleton. 22 home runs, career high. 8 triples in 91. In fact, didn't make the All-Star game this year, but wound up beating the great Barry Bonds for MVP honors. So didn't make the All-Star game, but won the MVP in 1991. First pitch to Pendleton as he socks one to center. And making the catch is Kirby Puckett. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the first in the 1991 World Series. And we welcome you back here to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's introduce you to the starting defense for the Atlanta Braves, winners of 94 games in the regular season. They wound up losing this World Series 4-3. Spoiler alert, in real life. But trying to turn the tables, do something different this time around. Hunter, Gantz, and Justice in the outfield. On the infield, the MVP Pendleton at third. Belliard and Treadway up the middle. Sid Bream, former Pittsburgh Pirate, at first. Greg Olson will get the catching duties tonight. And Tom Glavine is on the hill. Boy, what a season Tom Glavine had in 1991 on the way to Cy Young honors. Best pitcher in the National League. 20-game winner, 2.55 earned run average, and he struck out 192 batters. And Dan Gladden will lead off for the Twins. Gladden playing left field here tonight, not DH, as what you may have seen in the pregame show was in fact incorrect. Chuck Knobloch will be in the 2 spot. 3-4-5, Puckett, Davis, and Harper. The dangerous Shane Mack will bat 6th, followed by Kent Herbeck in the 7th spot. Scott Leyes batting 8th, and Greg Gagne is batting 9th. Take a look at your star profile here tonight. It's brought to you by Jeff Steelflex 47. And the numbers say it all. 319 average, 15 home runs, 29 doubles. Relatively speaking, a down year for Kirby Puckett from what we've seen in years past, but still very much a competitor for a batting crown. He won it all. He won the batting crown back in 1989. And this 319 average, just a hair off his lifetime average of 318. Kirby Puckett will bat in the 3 spot here tonight. And yes, the Homer Hankies are out here as we get ready for the bottom of the 1st, and Dan Gladden behind in the count. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Tom Glavine as he spins one past him. Got him on the changeup. So a Podman 19 strikeout. Gladden is retired. Chuck Knobloch, 4-time All-Star when all was said and done. In 1991, still hadn't played in an All-Star game. That's because he was a rookie in 1991. Knobloch, the 1991 Rookie of the Year. And it's because of that 281 average, 24 doubles, 6 triples in 1991. Number 25 overall pick from the Twins in 1989. Just 2 years later, as a 22-year-old, here he is in the big leagues. Knobloch on an 0-1. Knobs drills a base hit to left. That's your first base hit of the game. When squaring up against an opponent, the underdog always throws the first punch. Brought to you by Underdog 44. Knobloch on first, 25 stolen bases, caught just 5 times. Kirby Puckett is at the plate. Puckett, number 3 overall pick from the Twins, homegrown kid. 1982, came right through the farm system after being drafted as a high schooler out of Chicago, Illinois. Full count. Here we go. Right up the middle, base hit. Kirby has a single. Back-to-back hits. They're going to send the runner. They got him in a pickle here. Belliard throwing a third, not in time. Knobloch almost ran the Twins out of the inning, but some way, somehow got out of the pickle. I don't know if I've ever seen that on Monday Night Baseball. I didn't know that was a possibility. But Knobloch is on third. Puckett did not advance to second during that pickle. He remains at first. Just 1 out. And Chili Davis is at the plate. Chili, a 3-time All-Star, twice with the Giants in 1984 and 1986. And now, after this campaign, he would eventually be an All-Star one more time with the California Angels a few years from now in 1994. There's the pickles. Glavine from the stretch trying to roll up a double play. Ground ball, third base. They get the force at second and a run will score. Treadway got knocked off the base path there by Puckett. Knobloch comes in to score. 1-0 Twins. First run of the game brought to you by FKN Commish LB. Twins draw first blood. They're up 1 squat. Credit Puckett for the hard slide in at second. Chili Davis on a fielder's choice remains at first. It's a 1-0 Twins lead. Brian Harper, the catcher, grounds to third. Throw across the diamond from Pendleton. Side is retired, but at the end of 1, Minnesota is on the board. The Twins leading the Braves here in Minnesota 1-0. Boy, tough break for Tom Glavine. That inning should have been over. Instead, That is an earned run. It's a 1-0 ball game as we take you back here to Minnesota for inning number 2. And David Justice, your leadoff man. Justice, in 1991, 87 RBI. He was leading the league in runs batted in back in June. Plagued by a back injury near the midway point of the season, wound up finishing with just 87 ribbies because of that back injury. But future very bright for this young man, David Justice, 25 years young. Payoff pitch on 3-2 from Jack Morris. Ball 4. So Justice draws the walk. Former Rookie of the Year 1 year ago in 1990. Morris will have to pitch from the stretch for the first time after striking out 2 in the first. And the rare blend of power and speed, Ron Gant at the plate. 30-30 in 91, 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases, joining Willie Mays, Bobby Bonds as the only 2 ball players to ever accomplish 30-30 for 2 years in a row. Ron Gant at the plate. 1-2. Gant swings and misses. Strike 3. Morris dug down deep. Got him on the slider. 1 down. Strikeout number 3 for Jack. Morris again from the stretch. Now up against Sid Bream. Bream, a free agent acquisition by the Braves before the 1990 season. Came over from Pittsburgh. Saw the Braves finish dead last in the National League. And here they are now, division winners, league championship winners, and now in the World Series. There's a stolen base by Justice. David Justice on a steal. One more look here. Ready, set, noob. The speedy answer to all your IT needs. Tiny Noob, proud sponsor of the stolen base. So Justice is in scoring position with 1 down and Bream at the plate. Sid Bream, 1-2 pitch, fly ball, shallow center field. Kirby Puckett will stroll in. Runner will hold at second. 2 down. Now Brian Hunter, the young Brian Hunter at the plate. Drafted out of Cerritos College in Norwalk, California. 8th round choice by the Braves. 4 years later, playing in the major leagues. From the stretch, here's the pitch. Popped up, foul territory. This should do it. Kind of off camera, hard to tell, but it is caught by Leas in front of the dugout. 1 runner stranded. We go to the bottom of 2 in Minneapolis. All right. Going to stretch the legs here for a second here as we head to the bottom of the second. All right, for those of you who joined us on the pregame show on my channel, Dr. Dynastic, thank you so much. And we will be making that a regular thing on Mondays, heading forward into future Monday Night Baseballs. Get you ready for whatever matchup we have tonight. It is a 1991 World Series replay between the Braves and the Twins. Welcome you back here. This is actually kind of a little case of deja vu for me. This is the first ever game I called. How old would I have been at that time? 91. So I would have been about 14, 15 years old. I was sitting in my friend's basement and we would watch these games, the 91 World Series between the Braves and the Twins on video cassette. And then we would do play-by-play. We would mute the sound, so apologies to Jack Buck and Tim McCarver, I believe, was on color commentary. Yep. And me and my buddy John would do play-by-play on this, and that's how I got my love of play-by-play. Figured, hey, I kind of like this. I'd like to do this someday. And here we are now, however many years later, what, 30-something years later, and doing it all over again. Shane Mack will lead off up against Tom Glavine. My voice might have changed a little bit since then. 1-1, he goes the other way. He lines it to the first baseman, Breen. Quickly one down as Mack is retired. And now it is Ken Hrbek. Now, we mentioned in the pregame that the first home run in the history of the Metrodome was hit on April 3rd, 1982. That was an exhibition game played between the Twins and the Phillies. What we did not tell you was that home run was hit by this man right here, Ken Hrbek. Trivial pursuit, trivial knowledge right here on Monday Night Baseball. It was an exhibition game. 3-1 pitch. He'll look at ball 4. Herbie will take the walk. Tonight's walks are being brought to you by Grish 70. Hrbek is at first. Scott Leyes will bat. Monday Night Baseball on the mothership. Let's go. Third and run. It is great to see you. John DFW also, all right, about the same age. Maybe a bicentennial boy yourself. Leyes with one aboard on the 1-2. Grounds this into the hole. Smothered by the shortstop. Throw to first will not be in time. What a play, though, by Belliard. One more look on the replay. In need of some baseball, you can always count on Minerva, 93-98. Throw was not in time, but a fantastic play nonetheless. 2 on for the Braves, or for the Twins, I should say. And yes, there's the organ. It's brought to you by Fire North. 2 on, 1 out. Greg Gagne. Gagne, who in Game 1 of the 1991 Real Life World Series actually had a clutch 3-run home run versus Charlie Leibrandt. Luckily for the Braves in this situation, it's not Leibrandt on the hill. It is, in fact, Tom Glavine this time around. But we say all of that to tell you there are 2 aboard for Greg Gagne. First pitch, Gagne grounds this to third. They'll throw across the diamond. Pendleton throws him out. Both runners will advance, though, as Pendleton missed out on an opportunity to step on the bag at third. Hrbek is on third, Leyes on second, and yes, there's now talk about Herbie versus Gant and the bag incident, something that will, of course, be covered here during the broadcast. So many iconic moments from that 91 World Series, but maybe one of the most infamous plays was the play involving Kent Hrbek and Ron Gant at first base. 2 on, 2 out. Dan Gladden, 1-2 pitch. Grounds this to second. Throw to first will be in time. And the side is retired as Minnesota strands 2. And at the end of 2, it's Minnesota 1, Atlanta nothing. Greg Olson, your leadoff man for the Atlanta Braves as we begin the third inning. Olson, a little bit of a homecoming for this young man. Born and raised in Minnesota, drafted out of the University of Minnesota, right here in Minneapolis. 7th round choice back in 1982 by the New York Mets. Now playing for the road team and the Atlanta Braves. Pitch from Morris. Grounded to third. Leyes picks it up. Throws to first. 1 down. Now Rafael Belliard. Fantastic diving stop on that infield single in the second inning. Belliard from the Dominican Republic signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates as an amateur free agent back in 1980. and then came over in 1990, 1 year ago, to play for the Braves. Cousin Ronnie Belliard played 13 seasons from the late 1990s to 2010. 1-2 to Rafael Belliard as he bloops one to left. That will be a base hit. And Atlanta has its first base knock of the ballgame. Belliard on first. Lonnie Smith at the plate. The aforementioned Lonnie Smith. Been talking about Lonnie getting the start here at DH. Interesting fact, Lonnie was the league leader in hit by pitch for 3 straight years from 1982 to 1984. 9 hit by pitch each of those years. 0-2 pitch. He's looking at a called strike 3. Got him on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Belliard remains on first. Jeff Treadway now at the plate. Treadway, who was drafted by Montreal in 1981, for all of you Canadian folks out there, did not sign with the Expos. Instead, signed as an amateur free agent 3 years later. The Cincinnati Reds back in 1984. First pitch, Treadway swinging. Fly ball to center, and Puckett is on the run. He will make the catch. We go to the bottom of the third at the Metrodome. Twins still on top, 1-0. Two, three, four in the Minnesota order. Knobloch, Puckett, and Davis. Knobloch. Look at these batting average. I want to share that with you. Now, this is after the 1991 season when he debuted with a 281 average on the way to Rookie of the Year honors. Want to look at this stretch from 94 to 96. In fact, 97 as well. 312, 333, 341. Look at those years, though. 312, 333, 341. And then in 1997, the bat betrayed him a little bit, but that's a year that Chuck Knobloch, in fact, won the Gold Glove at second base. He was a standout second baseman in 1997 for the Minnesota Twins. Glavine from the windup against Knobloch. Knobs cues one back to the mound. Boy, that had some interesting side spin on it. It goes back to Tom Glavine. He'll make the play. One down. Now here's Kirby Puckett. Amazing story for Kirby Puckett. Kind of an interesting path to get here to the major leagues. Born and raised in Chicago. Very large family. Made ends meet, where he installed carpet for cars at a plant for Ford. Was laid off from that job, laying down carpet, and then attended an open tryout for the Kansas City Royals. Now, he did not sign with the Royals, but that tryout did get Kirby Puckett a scholarship to play at Bradley University. Then just a few years later, he was the number 3 overall pick by the Minnesota Twins. 2-1 to Kirby. He grounds to third. Pendleton will make the play. 2 down. Now Chili Davis. First Major League Baseball player born in Jamaica. Now, Oscar Levi's did play professionally. He played in the Negro League. Chili Davis from Jamaica, first ever Jamaican-born Major League Baseball player. Moved to Los Angeles at the age of 10. 2-2 to Chili. Pops it up. Foul territory. Who's going to call him off? It will be the first baseman, Bream, who will make the catch. Side retired, and after 3, it's Minnesota 1, Atlanta nothing. And I think it is time for the emote podium. Well, who is that handsome devil on the screen right now? Boy, oh boy. Stop what you're doing. Let's get this guy down to size here. That's much more like it. That's way better. That's much better. All right. Here we go. Now you're supposed to wait until the count of 3 to get started. Ready, set, go. Put your favorite emote in chat and away we go. We've got, I don't know what those things are. A shower. Thanks, Rob. Mushrooms. Now a pyramid, an Illuminati pyramid. More things. A plunger. None of the above. Is it going to be that kind of stream? Because if it is, we'll just stop it right now. You can put a black cat, you can put Dr. Dynastic, or you can put a cup of coffee. It's pretty simple. Any one of those. Alf? Are you kidding me? All right, there we go. Now you're growing wise to this. GT Sundown bringing the black cat. Thank you. Dono bringing the Dr. Dynastic. Appreciate you. Beers, cheers. No, Rob, I do not accept your cheers at all. You can take your cheers. You can pour out those beverages. And yes, thank you, Commando Solo, with more Dr. Dynastic. We love to see that, though I'm a little bit partial. We can only count it once in a row, though. Oh, Mr. Odd is buffering. That'll happen. Commando really wants Dr. D to win. Cavacom has brought now Laptop Hound. Thank you very much with that. Now GT bringing more of the black cat. We love to see it. And now GT Sundown with a cat playing saxophone, which we love to see. Now, Beetle Boy, you have brought in Dr. Dynastic. Boy, it might be a photo finish between these two. Commando Solo bringing more of the Dr. Dynastic. And now Cito, it's going to be a photo finish between the Black Cat and Dr. D. Okay, there's Laptop Hound. More coffee time. Let's go. Cito has brought the cat, Commando, and Beetle Boy. And that, it's a photo finish, but the cat has barely been beaten by the ravishingly handsome Dr. Dynastic. There you go. Folks, as always, the emote race is brought to you by Just Memesa. You want memes? You want pizza? Check out Memesa, where everything is just Memesa. Deer in the headlights. It's like you're going with the opposite of what we're telling you to do, which is so weird. Underdog, those are all valid points. All valid. All right, we are in the top of the 4th inning. Atlanta Braves leading off in the form of Terry Pendleton. Pendleton from Oxnard, California, played collegiate baseball for Fresno State. Wound up being a 7th round choice by the St. Louis Cardinals back in 1982. 187 base knocks this year in 1991, led the league. Did it the following year as well, 199 hits in 92 to win back-to-back hits titles. Full count from Morris. Payoff pitch, fly ball, right field, base hit. Right in front of Mack. So Shane Mack lets it fall in front of him. It's a leadoff single for Terry Pendleton. Now David Justice, coming off that National League Rookie of the Year campaign in 1990. Would be an All-Star 3 times in 93, 94, and 97. Last of those All-Star games coming his first year with the Cleveland Indians, where he hit 33 home runs that year. 1-2 pitch. Justice grounds to first. This could be 2. They'll get the force at second. There will be no relay. So Justice is on with a fielder's choice. Ron Gantz, 2-time All-Star. 92 with Atlanta. 3 years after that with Cincinnati. From Victoria, Texas, home of Stone Cold Steve Austin. 0-2 pitch. Strike 3. Morris has 5 Ks. Boy, he is really humming along for the Twins right now. That brings up Sid Breen. 3-1 pitch, grounded to second, throw to first, and that will do it. Atlanta having a hard time figuring out this man, Jack Morris, who spun 4 shutout innings. We go to the bottom of the 4th in Minnesota. You are in the right place, Twins 34. We are playing, though, a Dynastic replay where we get to play out a 3-game series, best of 3 series, and this is game 1. And let's not forget, let's not lose sight. Of course, so many other things involving ball players and what happened during and after their baseball careers, but let us not forget about the sheer theatrics, the drama of this World Series. Second to none when ESPN unveiled its top World Series of all time when they celebrated 100 years of World Series in 2003. This World Series was at the top of the list. Brian Harper is at the plate. And Harper, interestingly enough, and we'll take a moment to kind of look through his career and what he's done, but we want to look at here. Look at Brian Harper's statistics from 1979 through 1987. Could not get a shot as a major leaguer. Brian Harper, drafted in 1977. Got a cup of coffee in 1979. He was in the California Angels system. And it was interesting because Harper just couldn't crack through. There was nowhere to put him. He was a fantastic hitter, but not much of an arm for a catcher. And if you look at that major league roster for the Angels that year in 1979, they had Rod Carew, they had Bob Boone, they had Don Baylor, they had Reggie Jackson. There was nowhere to put Brian Harper in the late 70s to early 80s, just nowhere at all. So Harper would eventually get traded to Pittsburgh, to the Pirates, but as luck would have it, the Pirates had a catcher by the name of Tony Pena. So he was stuck behind Tony Pena. He gets shipped off to St. Louis. The Cardinals didn't know what to do with him either. He was eventually, after that, signing with Detroit, with the Tigers, then the Oakland A's. He was eventually released in 1987, and you thought at that point Brian Harper's career would be over. If not for the fact that Minnesota finally came to its senses of all the teams in Major League Baseball. The Twins came to their senses, and they brought in Brian Harper, and he rewarded them with a .295 average. His first season with the Minnesota Twins, wound up becoming a full-time catcher where he hit .325 in 1989, and here he is in 1991 with a .311 average, 10 home runs, 69 RBI, Brian Harper. And I want to share a quote with you from Bill James. And this is from the great Bill James, who of course, as a man who needs no introduction. Here's what he said, Bill James, in his new historical baseball abstract about Brian Harper and his career. And I quote, "In fact, I might just share this with you in chat if we don't hit the character limit so you can read this for yourself." Well, they'll get part of it. I'll give you the whole quote. Again, we're talking about Brian Harper. Bill James. Harper should have had a much better career than he did. He lost a lot of his career to other people's stupidity. He was drafted by the Angels in 1977, hit .293 with 24 home runs, 101 RBI at Quad Cities in 1978. Then hit .315 with 37 doubles, 90 RBI at El Paso in 1979. The Angels at that time were building entirely around free agents and veterans, in no mood to give a young player a chance. At Salt Lake City in 1981, and this is what gets my goose, he hit .350, 45 doubles, 28 homers, 122 RBI. Angels traded him to Pittsburgh. Pirates already had Tony Pena. They needed another catcher like they needed a first baseman. Harper tried to convert to the outfield or first base. Wasn't fast enough to play the outfield. Nobody was sure he would hit enough to play first. He bounced to St. Louis, Detroit, Oakland, Minnesota. He was 28 by the time he got a chance to play. My goodness, what a story about Brian Harper and the fact that he almost got left on the scrap heap and never got that chance to play a full season in the major leagues. And thank goodness the Twins finally figured out a way to get this guy on a major league roster. Harper on a 2-2. Strike three. All that build up for a strikeout. Tom Glavine. All right. Shane Mack now at the plate. Mack, a fantastic collegiate player at UCLA. Now up in the big leagues. First pitch to Shane. Grounds this to short. Throw across the diamond from Belliard. And there's 2 down. Yes, underdog. Thank you so much. And yes, and I hope it did not come across as I'm calling anybody out in chat specifically. It is the most difficult thing about researching for a baseball series. And if it had any influence on the game itself, we would absolutely be bringing some of these points up. And if it would impact their Major League Baseball career while they're playing, absolutely, I believe that's fair as well. It does get tricky when things happen after their contributions to the game of baseball, where we're playing a fantasy baseball game, trying to reconcile the sins of outside of Major League Baseball and then what they did on a baseball field. Never easy, but tell you, we're going to do the best we can. Ken Hrbek is at the plate. Here's a 2-0 to Herbie. He goes the other way, and that'll fall for a base hit. So Ken Hrbek has a single. 4th hit of the night for the Twins. Scott Leyes now steps up. Leyes, a 13th round pick by the Twins back in 1986 out of Yonkers, New York. 3-2 pitch. Taken for a called strike 3 as they leave one runner stranded. At the end of 4, Minnesota still on top, 1-0. Hour number 1 is in the books, and we're only halfway through this game, which means getting your drops is not going to be a hard thing to accomplish. We do start at 4 p.m. Pacific, sharp, on Mondays. Just checking my drops. I'm at 98%. Oh no, there we go. 100% on that hour drop. And you should be about 2/3 of the way through for your 90-minute drops. Now, quick programming note. Let me look here very quickly. Long enough that I won't be able to read it. Okay. But you will have options. You will have options after this broadcast here on Monday Night Baseball. So, yes, believe it or not, you get drops on the stream. Out of the Park Developments drops, official drops. Now, after this stream here, you'll have a couple choices. I don't know if you will have Out of the Park Developments choices, but you will have, fun programming choices. One of them is Laptop Hound, as I understand, will be back doing the hockey talk. So if you're looking for hockey content, we love our friends at Franchise Hockey Manager. If you're looking for some great hockey content, be sure to tune in for that right after this stream here today. I believe about 6 or 6:30 p.m. Pacific time on Laptop Hound. If anybody is able to put a link up there, I'm not sure if you are. Otherwise, I'll do that during the next break. So please go ahead and go on over there. If you want to hang out with me, I will be doing a dinner stream where we will be making dinner over on my stream. No more content on this channel after the conclusion of this game. I'll be shilling for you. We'll be making some food together for a dinner stream over on my channel after this is wrapped up. As schedules would align, that's how it worked out here this week. But moving forward, we are planning on being able to raid into EVC and NYC2 for more affiliate drops on Monday nights. Stay tuned for that on a future date. Soon, very soon. Brian Hunter will lead off. Hunter is hitless in one at-bat so far. 251 hitter in his rookie campaign. 12 homers in just 97 games. A little bit of pop. Up against Jack Morris. Not Kurt Schilling. That's with a C. Grounds to the right side. Knobloch ranges over to make the play. Now, interesting about Chuck Knobloch that a lot of people, it's one of those unavoidable things. Any broadcast where Jose Canseco was in right field, there'll always invariably be a discussion about Canseco and the time a ball went off his head and over the wall for the Texas Rangers. Anytime you see Chuck Knobloch playing, you inevitably will have a discussion, a comment about the yips, about the Knobloch yips throwing to first base. Those yips have not yet surfaced. He is very much a fantastic and capable defensive second baseman in the year 1991. A few years later, with New York, not so much. There's a bunt attempt as Harper will come up or behind the dish, picks it up and retires Olsen. That was interesting. Greg Olsen attempting to bunt for a hit. Interesting call. 2 down, Rafael Belliard now at the plate. Belliard spending his previous 9 seasons with the Pirates. After debuting as a major leaguer back in 1982 at the age of 20 that year. 2-1 offering to Belliard. Belliard to right field. That falls for a base hit. Belliard on a forkball from Morris. Boy, look at the list of pitches Morris has got. The fastball, the slider, the changeup, and now the forkball as well. Belliard on first. Lonnie Smith is at the plate. And we do talk about the off-the-field incidents sometimes during a major league career, and it would be impossible to not go back a little bit with Lonnie Smith and the story about him in the late 1980s. His drug addiction problems with cocaine very much discussed and were talked about in the late 80s. And it reached its worst point where after the 1987 season, and very difficult for him to find a place to play back in 87. He run himself out of town with Kansas City. And in fact, after that 1987 season, he bought a gun with plans to shoot and kill the Kansas City Royals general manager at the time, John Schuerholz. Now, luckily for Schuerholz, and of course Lonnie Smith as well, because he felt like he was being blackballed in Major League Baseball, and that the Kansas City Royals GM, Schuerholz at the time, was sabotaging Smith's career. Luckily, Smith got things together, was able to overcome that addiction. Schuerholz wound up becoming the new GM, hired in October of 1990. And one of the moves that he ends up making, well, he all of a sudden sees that Lonnie Smith is on that very same roster. And just goes to show you, too, how the trials and tribulations of people's lives, that there can be a path to redemption. And Lonnie Smith certainly living up to that. Lonnie Smith on a 2-2 offering. Flies this to right. That will fall for a base hit. That could be extra bases. It goes into the corner. And Smith is in at second with a dono double. That dono double brought to you by Dono 43, 333. One more look as that one was just on the right side of the chalk as it hops over the line into the corner. So a stand-up double for Lonnie Smith. Belliard advancing to third on the play. 2 down. Jeff Treadway digs in. Treadway with a chance to drive in a game-tying run and potentially a go-ahead run. 2 on, 2 out. The 0-2 from Morris. Grounder to short. Coming in, making the throw is Gagne, and the side is retired. Atlanta strands 2, and they're still trailing the Twins 1-0. We fire up some mid-game music here. Oh, I guess we don't have music. Not in the budget. Okay, interesting. All right, getting the score sheets back up, catching up on everything on Discord and everything in between. Guys, we are past 5 o'clock here on Monday Night Baseball, and we welcome you back here to the Metrodome. And you can't talk about the Metrodome without this thing out in right field. That is called the Hefty Bat. I think many of you, if you're a certain age, you know exactly what this is. It is 22 feet tall, and it's basically like a giant garbage bag out there. It doesn't bounce. A ball does not merely bounce off the Hefty Bag. It's kind of lost into Hefty Bag. It's almost like a Bermuda Triangle of baseball walls. We say all of that because there are players who have accomplished many things in this ballpark because specifically of the Hefty Bag. And we mentioned this specifically, Greg Gagne. Now, if you were to go back to Greg Gagne, and I know there have been some comments about people hearing things and not realizing, learning things for the first time. This might go up there towards that list for you. Things you didn't know until Monday Night Baseball. Greg Gagne in 1986 had 12 home runs. At least two of those home runs with the Twins in 1986 were inside the park home runs. Inside the park, which means it did not go over the wall. And in fact, 2 inside the park home runs were hit by Greg Gagne on the same day, on the same game, here at the Metrodome against Floyd Bannister. Both going off the Hefty Bag. Greg Gagne, there's a reason why this part of the ballpark gets so much acclaim. Greg Gagne at the plate. 2 inside the park home runs in one game in 1986. Down the line, this one is scooped up. Unassisted is Sid Breamy. He'll make the play. Back to the top of the order we go, and Dan Gladden. Dan, interesting fact, wound up meeting his wife, Janice Murphy, while the two were together at college, at De Anza College in California, where Dan was born and raised in San Jose, California. His future wife, Janice, actually the daughter of a Negro League player. In fact, Dan and his wife, Janice, would go on to have 2 daughters, one of which would marry Gary Gaetti's son, believe it or not. So there is a holy matrimony between the Gladden family and the Gaetti family, as Dan Gladden, one of his daughters, wound up marrying Gary Gaetti's son. And a great mane of hair, if we do not say so ourselves. 2-0 is the count to Gladden. Gladden gets all of that one. Fly ball left field, but not quite enough. Well struck, but it's caught by Hunter. So Hunter makes the grab. You know, we talk about that hole that was poked in the Metrodome roof, perhaps. Maybe the wind kind of knocked that one down. Chuck Knobloch now digs in. Full count, 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Glavin got him on a curveball. We're scoreless through 5 for Atlanta, and Minnesota has just won. At the end of 5, it is the Twins 1 and the Braves nothing. Beetle Boy, you are far too kind. Let's hear more about Billy Chappell. The great Billy Chappell. Oh boy. He almost got me into Vin Scully mode. Almost. You gotta pay up the cotton candy for that, guys. Terry Pendleton, your leadoff man. It will be 3-4-5 in the Braves order. Oh, and we're Twins 34, so we've got a Twins fan in the house. So encourage all of you to check out the comment by Twins 34. Some insight about the Minnesota Twins. Specifically, it looks like in this case, Greg Gagne. First pitch from Morris. Pendleton going the other way, and this one will fall for a base hit. It's down the line. A wide turn, but wisely, Pendleton will hold up at first. Terry Pendleton, 5 times he's been to a World Series in his career. 15-year career, 5 World Series, but never a champion. Terry Pendleton over at first. 2-0 to Dave Justice. Justice flies this one to deep center field. This one will stay in the park. Pendleton retreats back to first. Pendleton on first. Ron Gant at the plate. 1 on, 1 out. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Morris, another strikeout. Gant has struck out 3 times tonight. Morris's strikeout count now sits at 6. He is dealing. Sid Bream. We don't have to tell you what happened versus Jack Morris between Bream and Morris. Perhaps that's a story for another inning. We'll wait on that one. 3-0 pitch taken for ball 4. Sid Bream with a walk, a 4-pitch walk, and now the game-time run is in scoring position. Brian Hunter, who homered in Game 5 of the 91 World Series, beating the Twins in that game 14-5, one of the only games that wasn't down to the wire. Brian Hunter can change the outlook of this game in a heartbeat with one swing of the bat. 2-1 pitch. He lines this over the third baseman. Runner heading home, and they will score as Pendleton comes in. RBI single by Brian Hunter, and we're squared at 1. One more look on the replay. It's brought to you by GDB 1117. RBI single, Brian Hunter. Braves break up the shutout. The 1-1 contest. Bream advancing to second on the hit. Hunter to first. Greg Olson now at the plate. Greg Olson, who would wind up only playing 5 years of Major League Baseball. Lone All-Star season came the year before in 1990. Little dribbler to the shortstop. Gagne comes in to make the play. Side is retired, but Atlanta is on the board. We go to the bottom of the 6th at the Metrodome, tied at 1. Bottom of the 6th inning, Kirby Puckett will lead off. 3-4-5 in the order, heart of the Twins lineup against Tom Glavine. Puckett, who won the batting crown in 1989 with an average of .339, and would lead Major League Baseball a few years later in 1994. An RBI with 112 that year. Puckett on a 1-2 pitch. Kirby smacks this deep to left center field. This one's going to leave the yard. Kirby Puckett. The Twins have retaken the lead. No doubt about it. 442 feet. And Puckett has the Twins back on top. Another look here at this home run. Home run being brought to you by Hero Driver. That ball was driven. Brought to you by Hero Driver. Drive the ball like Hero Driver 68. Kirby Puckett has the Twins back with the lead. Game on a hanging curveball. Lavin, a rare mistake. It's a 2-1 contest. Now Chili Davis at the plate. Davis on a 2-1 offering. He pops this one up into foul territory. First baseman giving chase. Bream will make the catch. Out of view of the camera. 1 down. Now it's Brian Harper. Harper on a 2-0. Brian squibs this to the first baseman Bream with Glavin covering on the bag at first. 2 down. Harper is retired. Now it's Shane Mack. We talk about his illustrious college career. Played at UCLA. Wound up hitting back in 1983. 419. 7th all-time batting average in Pac-10 history. 419 average that year. He was the runner-up for conference MVP honors that year. Wound up being drafted 11th overall by the San Diego Padres. Now, inexplicably, the Padres, 6 years later in 1990, could not find a place for him on the roster. Minnesota wound up acquiring Shane Mack as a Rule 5 pick. Here he is. There is a roster spot for Shane Mack in Minneapolis. 2-2 on the way. Ground ball to third. Pendleton scoops it up, throws across the diamond, and the side is retired. But at the end of 6, Minnesota leading Atlanta 2-1 in a replay of the 1991 World Series. All right, folks. 3 more outs until we get the 7th inning stretch. And take me out to the ball game. Rafael Belliard, your leadoff man from Pueblo Nuevo, Dominican Republic. Started his major league career as a 20-year-old back in 1982. 2-1 from Morris. Ground ball. First base. Nice play by Sid Bream. Boy, that was pegged down the line. Take another look on the replay. Replay is brought to you by Zuckus. Bream playing some solid first base out there. Didn't even have to pull anybody off the bag to make the play. Now top of the order, it's Lonnie Smith. Lonnie on a 1-2 pitch. Here is the offering from Morris. Grounder to third, and that will do it. We head to the... Wait, we got one more out. One more out. I was so looking forward to the 7th inning stretch. Let's do one more. Let's do 3 outs in 1 inning. That would be fun. Jeff Treadway at the plate. 0-2 from Morris. Ground ball up the middle. Gagne will make the play, and the side is retired. And with that, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. All right, 7th inning stretch is in the books. Brought to you by Don't Cut the D Block Dragon. It's time to stretch. We're going to bump you up. Bottom of the 7th here at the Metrodome. Bottom of the order for Minnesota. Herbeck, Leas, and Gagne. Ken Herbeck, an all-star, rookie of the year runner-up in 1982, his first season as a big leaguer. Rookie of the year that year, might recognize the name. In 1982, AL Rookie of the Year that year won by Cal Ripken Jr. And then Herbie, a runner-up again in 1984, this time for Rookie of the Year honors. Or excuse me, MVP honors. 311 average, 27 home runs, 107 RBI. Ken Herbeck that year, runner-up for Rookie of the Year, 2 years before, and then MVP honors in 84. Any idea who might have won MVP honors in 1984 in the American League? Give you a hint. Was not a position player. Fly ball to right. Caught by Justice. One down. Now Scott Leas at the plate. Oh, we talk about runners up. And yes, the answer downriver Rick coming in. Willie Hernandez. Willie Hernandez won the MVP honors in 1984, beating out Ken Herbeck. Speaking of runners up, Scott Leas defensively finishing as the runner-up as the Gold Glover at third base to Wade Boggs in 1994. Scott Leas, runner-up Gold Glove in 1994. Leas drills a base hit right up the middle. So Scott Leas, 286 hitter in 109 games in 91. An insurance run standing on first base. It was a hero driver home run. It absolutely was hero driver, and it was a good one. Maybe we'll get another hero driver home run. Scott Leas on first, and he's going to advance to second. It's a wild pitch. Glavine uncorks that curveball that Olsen couldn't get to. Had no business even trying to. It was way out of the zone. And Glavine will be tagged with that. It will not be a pass ball. It will, in fact, be a wild pitch. You love it, hero driver. That is how you do it, everybody. That is how you get an ad drop in there. Courtesy of Hero Driver. Well, tell you what, Hero Driver, all month long, as long as you're subscribing, every home run, as long as it's not opposite field, on this channel and on my channel, Dr. Dynastic, it will be a Hero Driver home run. Well, we could get a Barry Basher read if there's a hit by pitch. Capcom. Leas is on second, 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike three. Glavine gets his fifth strikeout. Boy, that was a big one for Tommy. 2 down. And now it's Dan Gladden. Gladden, who's had his share of important base hits in the postseason. Of course, one of them came in Game 7. Bloop single in the 10th, wound up stretching it to a double. A bloop double, bottom of the 10th against Alejandro Pena, and then would score the game winner, courtesy of a Gene Larkin RBI base hit. Dan Gladden. First pitch, fly ball, right field, just shy of the track. Side is retired. And at the end of 7, Minnesota's lead still at 1. Yes, Hero Driver, we got it. We will sell it professionally for you. Construction stuff, that's Cavicom's game, though. He'll put the hard hat on for you on that one. Terry Pendleton, we've got the 3-4-5 portion of the Braves order. One-two pitch to Terry Pendleton, who's found new life in his career as an Atlanta Brave. Grounds to short. Gagne makes the play. One up, one down. Now it's David Justice. Justice, former fourth-round pick out of Thomas More University. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike three. Another strikeout for Jack Morris. He's got 7. 3 of those Ks have been by virtue of at-bats by Ron Gantz. 3-1. Well, it won't be a strikeout, at least for Gant, as he grounds this to short. It's knocked down by Gagne, but it will be an infield single. He could not come up with it. Not with Ron Gant running down the line, so he'll get an infield single. This is big, folks. Sid Bream is at the plate. Gant is on first. Gant can run. He's got legs. He knows how to use them. And Sid Bream is at the plate. Remember, in real life, in a clutch situation, let's take you back to the 1991 World Series, which is what we're playing here. Game 7, bases loaded in the 8th inning. Now, here, different situation. We're in the 8th inning, just one on. But remember this situation. Sid Bream, bases loaded in the 8th against Jack Morris. In that at-bat, what happened? Sid Bream grounded to first base. First baseman Herbeck threw home and then back to first for a 3-2-3 double play. That was costly in that 0-0 game because, of course, Minnesota wound up winning that game in Game 7 and with that the World Series in 10 innings. We'll see what happens here between Bream and Morris. Fly ball, center field, and that is the end of the inning. So Bream, with no luck this time around against Jack Morris as well. We go to the bottom of the 8th in Minneapolis. Twins still on top, 2-1. I think it's about time for an attendance report. See how many of you fine friends are watching the stream here tonight on Monday Night Baseball. And the official paid attendance, 446. 446. Attendance report brought to you by Sir Pug. Never put off till tomorrow what you can do the day after tomorrow just as well. Knobloch, your leadoff man, 2-3-4 for the Twins. Knobloch, Puckett, and Davis up against Tom Glavine in a 2-1 ball game. 1-1 pitch, grounded up the middle. Shortstop Belliard cuts it off and makes the throw. Knobs is out, and here comes Kirby Puckett. Love the enthusiasm from you in chat tonight. Thank you for bringing the love. Kirby Puckett had that monster home run his last time at the plate, the hero driver home run. He is having a heroic performance here tonight. And now Puckett this time keeps it on the ground. Third baseman Pendleton gloves it, throws to first. And Puckett is out. 2 down. Chili Davis steps in. Well, probably, time permitting, we'll have the Chili Davis story probably for Game 2 or Game 3 of this series over on my channel. The story behind the name, pretty interesting. 2-2 on the way from Glavine. Ground ball to the first baseman. Bream throws over to Glavine, covering, and that will do it. Twins go quietly in the 8th. We go to the 9th. Braves come to bat, trailing 2-1. It is time for a Beetle Boy 911 emergency call to the bullpen. Jack Morris's night is over. What a performance from Morris. Gave up just 1 run on 7 hits while striking out 7. And now he hands things over to the bullpen. And you can see a cutaway shot right now of Morris in the dugout. A little bit perturbed that he is out. But Tom Kelly having a long talk with him. And Jack Morris, after 125 pitches thrown, will not go the distance. Rick Aguilera will finish this one out if all goes according to plan. 42 saves in 1991, a 2.35 ERA, the new pitcher here tonight for the Minnesota Twins. Defensively, no changes. Harper will make the calls in, and he will catch Rick Aguilera. No changes here in the batting order for the Braves, at least thus far, but you have to think, at least with either Olsen or Belliard, that we're going to get a pinch hitter. Can't imagine Bobby Cox is just going to roll with Olsen and Belliard. Brian Hunter at the plate, driven in the only run of the game so far for Atlanta. Aguilera looks in for the side, and here we go. Ground ball, third base. Nice play by Elias, one down. Olsen will remain in the game, despite being 0 for 3 tonight. Greg Olsen. Atlanta needing base runners, trailing by 1. Ground ball, shortstop. Gagne will make the play. 6-3 on the scorecard, 2 down. And now it's decision time. And we will get a pinch hitter. Bobby Cox going to the bench. He's going with Mark Lemke. Lemke, a 234 hitter. Going with a lefty bat against the right-handed pitcher. Lemke, in fact, a switch hitter. Can bat from both sides. He'll bat from the left side. Aguilera from the windup. The 1-2 on the way. Fly ball, left field. Gladden underneath it, and that is your ball game. Minnesota hangs on by the skin of their teeth. They beat the Atlanta Braves in Game 1. Your final tonight from the Metrodome. The Twins of 1991-2 and the 91 Braves won. Well, why not, right? 5 games in the 1991 World Series decided by 1 run. 4 games decided on the final pitch, 3 going to extra innings. We did not get a final pitch decision. We did not get an extra inning game, but we did get a 2-1 final and everything that we thought it would be. This is the postgame show. It's brought to you by EVC in NYC2. Be sure to join EVC every Wednesday. Guess the set on Twitch, 2 p.m. Pacific Wednesdays, only on Twitch. All right, final here tonight. Jack Morris does get the victory. 1 run allowed on 7 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Aguilera gets the save. And offensively, who is going to be our dynamic MLB 42 performer of the game? Gotta be Kirby Puckett. Kirby finishing the night 2 for 4, including that home run. Kirby Puckett with a 6th inning home run, proving to be the difference. He is your dynamic MLB 42 star of the game. Offensively, 7 hits for Atlanta, 2 of those coming from the MVP, Terry Pendleton. 2 also coming from Rafael Belliard, who was pinch hit for in the 9th by Mark Lemke, who flied out to end this ball game. And that is that. The Twins now hold a 1-0 series lead in this best of 3 series. Of course, we could go Jack Morris on the performer of the game. Either way, tell you what, nice job by the Twins to win at home. The series now shifts over to Atlanta for Game 2. We'll be running that one tomorrow on my channel, on the Dr. Dynastic channel. All right, how are we doing on our drops? Looks like we got all the drops in. Got all the dropsies in. So I don't see any need to keep on going, unfortunately, for you fine folks. Hopefully, unless there's somebody out there who's at like 98%, something like that. Oh, look at that, right on cue. Hero Driver's at 98%. Hero, we're going to hook you up. Smushay, you're at the cut line. I think we can do it. I think we'll take you another 6 minutes, guys. 6 minutes. I can take you up to 5:45. Yes. Yeah, let's just talk about how awesome I am. That hero driver, that's always flattery will get you everywhere. All right, so first things first, the series now. You're going to have Kevin Tapani versus John Smoltz in game 2. That's what's going to happen in game 2. And that will be tomorrow. We'll resume the series tomorrow. All right. Now, let me look some stuff up here. Because Laptop Pound, if you're here, we want to give you a plug. Let's go ahead and first of all put that affiliate spotlight up there. That's always a good programming note for you. Be sure to give all those fine folks on your screen a follow. That includes EVC and NYC too, who is getting ready for vacation. So might be dialing back the streaming a little bit back shortly. And but the list is on your screen right now. These are all affiliate streamers, including Laptop Pound. Laptop Pound will be streaming, I believe, this evening, bringing back the NHL Weekly Podcast. That will be scheduled for 6:30 p.m. Eastern 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. Believe Laptop Pound, if you're in there, I believe you're going to be streaming a little bit earlier. And if that's the case, we'll be happy to raid into you folks. If you're going to be able to get those drops. Speaking of which, let's just make sure nobody else is streaming Park Baseball 24. It is us and us alone. He is he. Oh, there's two EVC. There was a story behind the EVC and NYC too. Saturday has moved to 11 a.m. All right, that'll be 8 a.m. Pacific. There you go. Now, Saturday, is that just this one time only EVC, or is that moving forward? Do I need to change anything? Full time. All right. You might have to send me a message on that one, my friend, because there's no way I'm going to remember now. I wish I could, but I just know I'm not going to remember. And Laptop Pound is moving to 4 p.m. Okay. Well, we've got all sorts of fun stuff going on Saturdays then. A lot of stuff going on. All right. And then we got Pacific time, Eastern Standard Time, all that fun stuff. All of these shenanigans. All right. How much more time we got? All the names almost up there. I see a Tessuigi sighting there. Spore as well. And guys, we do appreciate it. We appreciate all of you hanging out with us. I got to tell you, this was a good game, and I cannot wait for more of this. We'll continue this series tomorrow on my channel, Dr. Dynastic, if you'd like to join us then. And if you can't join, just remember that we'll also have VOD, the replay, just in case you happen to miss it then. And as a friendly reminder, too, we appreciate the Park Developments for hooking us up with 10 packs to give away. We'll have a 10-pack giveaway tomorrow on the stream. All you got to do is show up and be there for the giveaway. Get yourself a free ticket, and you can do that. And there are a lot, as we just saw, a lot of great streams that you can check out Monday through Sunday, Saturday through however you look at it, 7 days a week. And you can get those affiliate drops there as well. Our schedule is, that is not the schedule. This would be the schedule. And there it is. We are back on the air tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time. I think it sounds like more like maybe 1:30. We'll have to wait and see. I think we may be moving back a little bit, adapting our schedules a little bit. Trying not to overlap any other streams that are going on. Pun intended with overlap top out. Not wanting to infringe upon that time. So Anyways, looks like we'll be probably streaming a little bit later at 1 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow, maybe 1:30. But you guys have a great one. If you want to hang out with me more, I don't have drops to give you, but we're going to give you an inside look inside the Dynastic kitchen as Mrs. Dynastic and I will be cooking dinner. We'll be chefing it up, and we'll be making food. It does not look like Laptop Pound is up. We will not be able to read in. Let me just one final check just to make sure. Not on. Okay, not on. So that's going to be it for today, guys. I can leave it up here a little bit longer if you're in the high 90s, if you need to get that final drop. But otherwise, if you want to check out, let me put Laptop Pound's address there, twitch.tv/Laptop Pound. Right there. Give that man a follow. Hang out with him. All things hockey tonight. And for me, if you want to hang out with me, you are more than welcome to do so. That is my channel over there. We'd love to have you over on our stream where we don't normally do this, but on a Monday, we're doing a cooking stream. We're going to be checking that out. We're going to be making a dinner together. So if you want to hang out with us, that stream will be starting shortly. In fact, I might just be able to start that up right now. Anyways, we'll drop you off here. We'll give you those final drops. Anybody need extra drops? Remember, what we're looking at right now is Game 2, October 3rd in Atlanta, Fulton County Stadium. We are going to be playing that one tomorrow. Oh, Real Teddy O wants 3 minutes more. 3 minutes. I suppose we could do that. All right. So, what you guys want to talk about? Oh, there we go. Kip is also in the same boat. Baseball Dreamland, what's up? Let's open a pack or two. We'll do that just so we give you content. Oh, let's do that. We'll hook you up. Our perfect team is now in a diamond. Remember, EVC and NYC2 is your person for all things theme team. Please give our guy EVC a follow. All right, let's open them. Let's open a few packs at least. Oh, and there's an A to start. That's not good. That's not a good sign if my A's are in there. We'll open another pack. So far, I'd have to look EVC. I'm not sure. If I'm lucky, 500. If I'm not, then way below, probably in last place. With the theme team limitations for my squad, I've definitely hit my ceiling. All right. My theme team is the Oakland 42s. Oakland 42s. So you must have played. Oh boy, there's a diamond. All right, call your shot, guys. I'll hook you up with a 10 pack if you end up getting this right. This will be call your shot. If you get this right, we'll give you 10 packs. Yeah, my theme team is Oakland 42. So if it's a player that has played for the A's in their career, whether that's in Oakland, Philadelphia, or Kansas City, and or if you wore number 42. So Jackie Robinson, Jason Schmidt, John Denny, Those are 42s that come to mind. Mariano Rivera, another one. So that is the limitation. The Oakland 42s. If you see the background here, you see all those 42s. That is my number. I love Dave Henderson. He was my favorite player growing up. And then Pat Tillman, went to class with him at ASU. And then Ronnie Lott. Those are your 42s. Brandon Belt. All right, let's see if we can do this. Is this going to be a simultaneous stream here? There we go. Okay. We're going to double stream this, guys. Let's go ahead and open this pack. And I am just going on a IRL stream. Oh, boy. Kyle Hendricks to start this off. That's actually not a bad. Unfortunately, it's a duplicate. I don't think anybody wound up guessing Kyle Hendricks. And we're going to go ahead and do in real life stream if you guys want to check out. Hang out with us. We're going to be doing a dinner stream where I'm going to be cooking. And you can hang out with us. And I don't think anybody else got that. Let me look. All right. Laptop Pound is streaming now. So I'm going to go ahead and raid on into him. For those of you who want to get more drops, affiliate drops, please go ahead and sit in on the raid there. And if not, if you want to hang out with us, we'd love to have you over on my stream where we will be doing a dinner stream, doing a little cooking, Dr. Dynastic. So let's go ahead and raid in. We say so long for now. And we're going to go ahead and let me find that. Always got to type it out instead. So it's one extra step. You betcha, EVC. You betcha, everybody. You guys enjoy Laptop Pound if you're jumping that way. And if not, I'd love to see you over on my stream, Dr. Dynastic. And we're going to be doing a dinner stream, hanging out, meet the wife, meet the missus. And you guys have a great one. 338 of you going over to Laptop Pound. And we will see you tomorrow. Guys, enjoy Monday Night Baseball. Series continues tomorrow, game 2. See you then.